Sit back, relax and join me to explore the historic Calton Hill in Edinburgh, Scotland. Calton Hill in Edinburgh is an historic hill famous for its panoramic city views, iconic monuments and status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's easily accessible and is less than 10 minutes walk from Edinburgh Waverley railway station. You quickly gain heights via a series of steps and slopes. Looking ahead, you can see the commemorative tower of the Nelson Monument, where we will visit later. We first visit the Dugald Stewart Monument, which is a memorial to the Scottish Enlightenment philosopher Dugald Stewart. It overlooks the city of Edinburgh and was designed by Scottish architect William Henry Playfair. The monument was completed in September 1831 and is a Category A listed building as of 19th of April 1966. As you can see, it has quite a commanding spot over Edinburgh. We now leave the Dugald Stewart Monument behind and go down the path to obtain fabulous views over the Firth of Forth. A few months prior to this visit I was across the waters of the Firth of Forth and Kirkcaldy visiting Ravenscraig Castle and Dysart. It was great to see things from a different perspective. This path we're on takes us round the back of Calton Hill. We now go to explore what else Calton Hill has to offer. Up ahead you can see a Trig point, and then moving round the National Monument of Scotland comes into view. I first go to check out what the main attractions are before deciding which order to explore each one in more depth. Up ahead you can see again the tower of the Nelson Monument we saw a little earlier. And then the green dome of the City Observatory buildings on Calton Hill. The first place to check out more closely is the Trig point at the northern viewpoint, which gives great views across the Firth of Forth. Whilst the Trig point is here, it is not the highest point of Calton Hill. That resides near the Nelson Monument. May as well bag another Trig point. People who follow my channel will be aware I like to hike up the Scottish Munros from time to time. This Trig point is very easy to obtain in comparison. Seen here is the National Monument of Scotland, Scotland's national memorial to the Scottish soldiers and sailors who died fighting in the Napoleonic Wars. It was intended, according to inscription, to be a memorial of past and incentive to the future heroism of the men of Scotland. It was designed during 1823 to 1826 by Charles Robert Cockerell and William Henry Playfair and is modelled upon the Parthenon in Athens. Construction started in 1826 and due to the lack of funds was left unfinished in 1829. This circumstance gave rise to various nicknames such as Scotland's Folly, Edinburgh's Disgrace, the Pride and Poverty of Scotland and Edinburgh's Folly. We now head towards the south viewpoint where we get views over towards Arthur's Seat. Next we visit the Nelson Monument, which is a commemorative tower in honour of Vice Admiral Horatio Nelson. It is situated at the highest point of Calton Hill. The monument was built between 1807 and 1816 to commemorate Nelson's victory over the French and Spanish fleets at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805 and his own death at the same battle. For a fee you can climb the 32-metre high monument via 143 steps leading to a public viewing gallery. Here are the 360-degree views from the viewing gallery at the top of the Nelson Monument. So we're at the top of the Nelson Monument. Quite a few steps. It's quite a view from up here. A little breezy. See some of the places on his son needs to check out. It's quite the place. Up on Calton Hill. Here we see the Portuguese Canon, which was cast in the early 15th century. It's now time to take a look at the City Observatory, which was an astronomical observatory. The City Observatory site is enclosed by a boundary wall. The central building has the appearance of a Greek temple is the Playfair Building, named after the building's designer William Henry Playfair. In the corner ahead is a monument to John Playfair, who was president of the Edinburgh Astronomical Institution. In 2018, the entire site was restored and new buildings were added. The City Observatory site was opened freely to the public for the first time on 24th of November 2018 as the new site for the Collective, a centre for contemporary art. The new building you see ahead is the Café Calton, which opened on the 22nd of June 2025. It offers great views over the skyline of Edinburgh whilst enjoying a coffee. Unfortunately, it was not open when I visited.
That's okay. You pay like £10 out when you get to like school day. Yeah, so I'll say.